Welcome, dear listeners, to the introduction of Nothing But the Geek. What exactly am I introducing in this podcast? Well, to start off with, here are a couple of rules. This podcast, as it suggests, will be nothing but the geek. The geek I'm referring to is me, your host, JC Munoz. I've decided not to actually include my real name because, for starters, the people who will be listening will already know who I am. Those who aren't familiar with me and listening to this podcast will need to understand a few things. Being a geek sometimes opens you up to a lot of different people, and other times it opens you up to some very scary people. And for the most part, your identity is something that is something, that should be kept for you, because you are your own identity. But enough about that particular point. Here are a few other rules. To start off with, the episodes of this podcast will not be called episodes. They will be called chapters. Now, why am I calling these chapters? Well, in life, we all experience different chapters, whether it be our own birth, childhood, adolescence, teenagehood, adulthood, middle-agehood, being old and wrinkly, and of course, the dreaded death. But enough of the doom and gloom. I decided to call these chapters because, each of the episodes are basically a chapter of my own experience or my own perspective. I must say, though, that if you are going to listen, I would suggest strongly that you find yourself a comfy chair or pick a spot on your bed, have a nice cup of tea, maybe some biscuits or a cake, or whatever you prefer, and just sit back, relax, and listen to my perspective. Now, it may not necessarily be the perspective that you may share, but this is my own personal perspective. Now, this podcast, like many others, will not leave you empty-handed. It will open up to some discussion, which I will try to develop in the next couple of chapters. But in the meantime, just listen. Just listen to what I have to say. And if you don't want to listen to what I have to say, that's okay. You can stop at whatever chapter you want to listen to. But if you feel that you want to continue on, well, by all means. But I'd like to say, if you are going to stay and listen to this podcast for the long haul, thank you. And I hope you enjoy it. Now, please be aware that Chapter 1 will commence very shortly, and I hope you enjoy listening to me, as this podcast will be all geek and nothing but the geek. This is JC Munoz.